Wednesday, December 16th, 2020, Garrison Board of Education regular meeting. Welcome, everyone. Excited to be here before the snowstorm. We will begin with the call to order. Dusty, will you call the roll, please?
Jocelyn Apicello.
Here.
David Gelber.
Here.
James Hoke.
Here.
Madeline Julian.
Here.
Courtney McCarthy.
Here.
I'll note that Matt may be joining us.
Thank you.
And Sarah Tormey.
Here. Okay. We'll now lead everyone in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Thank you all. All right, moving on to accept agenda changes. Does anyone have any proposed changes to this evening's agenda? Okay, I'm going to read the recommended action. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accepts the agenda as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. Dusty, will you call the roll, please?
Jocelyn Apicello.
Aye.
David Gelber.
Aye.
James Hoke.
Aye.
Madeline Julian.
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy.
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye. Okay. Next up is President's Remarks. I will be brief. First, I want to thank everyone for a smooth transition back into remote learning. I hope you all are excited for our first snow day. And I hope kids get a chance to get out there and enjoy the snow. Carl, I really appreciate the administration taking the initiative to have a snow day tomorrow. I think it'll be a lot of fun for kids. And then I hope everyone stays well and stays healthy, especially through the holiday season, regardless of what you celebrate. I hope you do so safely, socially distanced, and masked, so that we can hopefully reconvene in January with our in-person learning. And then a small board update. I know the internal audit is beginning, and we will have more on that shortly, but thank you everyone in the building for helping get it underway. And that brings me to a big thank you to Sue, who is retiring. And I believe, Carl, this is her last meeting, unless we decide we suddenly really want to meet like the day before Christmas, right?
Yes, this is Sue Hutter's official last meeting in Garrison.
Well, I think, I don't know if she may not want to be brought forward yet, but I do want to just say on behalf of the board, we greatly appreciate all of her many years of service to the district. We are in a very strong financial position, a position many wish they could be in, thanks to Sue's work. Oh, good. Thank you for promoting her.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be good to see Sue.
Anyway, I'm just so grateful that we are able to provide the programs we have. Hi, Sue. It wouldn't be possible without the type of budgeting and the careful thought that has gone into all of our budgets. I'm incredibly grateful as a board member, as a parent, and as a community member and a taxpayer for all that you have done for this district. Obviously, we're on Zoom. There is a gift coming on behalf of this board to you that I will hopefully bring to the office, and you can pick up if you're still coming into the building a couple last times. So we just all wanted to say thank you. And I believe, Courtney, did you want to jump in?
Sure, I'll start off, but just to echo everything Sarah just said, for all of the years and the hours that you have put into this district, the Saturday morning budget meetings and late night board presentations, and there with answers to all of our questions, my many dumb or not dumb, but you've always strived to provide all the information and get us all on board. So thank you for all of your work, and we'll miss you.
Thank you. That's very lovely. Unexpected. So I don't have a speech prepared. But thank you very much. I'm gonna be accepting my award here, and don't have a speech prepared. But I appreciate all your well wishes, and I'm gonna miss being at Garrison. It's hard to get loose those apron strings, so to speak. But I'm excited about moving on. So
Good luck, Sue.
thank you. Thank you.
And in
Thank
the
you, Sue.
yeah, in the gift basket, there is something for your grandkids too. So I hope you get to spend a lot of time with them going forward.
Yes, yes, I'm looking forward to that.
So, I don't know how many, board members that you've had to navigate over the course of 13 years. But if you guys think that, this is, Sue, I think, has been through 3 superintendents, right? Is this your third?
Yes,
Yeah.
four if you count interims.
5 if you count it.
Five, yeah.
Yeah. And then several principals and 5, but if you count the board members, it's probably close to 20 different board members or something like that, maybe.
Very
So
true.
that's a lot of personalities. That's a lot of adjustment and change. That's a lot of people bringing in new expectations and new ideas, and going through the roller coaster of somebody's whim or vision or what have you. But through it all, the district has been in a position where the financial situation for the students, the children, and the taxpayers has been safely guarded. And I think it's the only constant amidst all that leadership has been you. And so, we greatly appreciate it.
Oh, that's very nice of you, James. Thank you.
Yeah, that was well said, James. Okay. Sue, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll bring you forward again to talk about treasury reports later.
Okay, my apologies. Sarah, I apologize.
Don't
I'll get this right. Okay. We're all set.
Right. Give me a minute here. Okay. So that is all I had for my remarks. And Carl, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Thank you.
So first, I'd like to just begin by wishing everyone and your families a happy and healthy holiday. I think we're all looking forward to 2021. There'll certainly be some challenges ahead, but there's a lot of optimism. I think there's a lot of good reason to be optimistic, and I look forward to our work in the year ahead. A few announcements, basically. The first one, as Sarah, you mentioned, as everyone knows, we are remote tomorrow. Also, iTutor classes are remote. However, on Friday, just a reminder, as long as we have power and connectivity, we will be in a remote learning model for everyone. We'll keep a close eye on power and make sure people are able to connect. If something changes, of course, I will notify you immediately. This is the second snow day, the second emergency day, I should say. The first snow day, we did have one other closure. 5 are built into the calendar. So, I do think if there's a significant storm in the months ahead, we will do something similar. That is our plan. If it's a light snow, I think it would make sense to either have a school delay if we're in person, or certainly stick to a remote model. So for planning purposes, that is where our thinking is on that. As a reminder, Monday and Tuesday, December 21st, December 22nd, will be remote learning days for all students in K-8. On Wednesday, the 23rd, we have a professional learning day for all of our staff, so there are no classes that day. That's when the break begins for children. For the adults, we do have one professional learning day. Also, just an update, I think most people are aware, but for those of you with high school students, James O'Neill is in a full remote learning model through January 15th. Students return in person on the 19th. And Haldane has announced that it is in a full remote teaching model through January 8th. That is that first week after New Year's, they will remain remote. Some other districts are following suit. There may be questions as to why we have not announced a holiday pause, or as some are calling it, or an extended remote. It is something under consideration. I think it would be wise to, pay attention to the positivity rates, and track things closely. And certainly, if we decide that it makes sense to extend after New Year's, we will let the community know ASAP. But right now, no official decision has been made. Also, on a minor note, although it's an important financial update for the board, we had some plumbing issues with drainage in our middle school bathrooms. Michael Twardy and his team had to deal with 2 or 3 backups and some flooding in the school building. We finally got a company in to do a probe, and we have about 40 to 50 feet of a rotting drainage pipe under the gymnasium. The drainage does go under the gym, and it's something that we believe needs to be addressed immediately. So it's considered an emergency repair. We've already started work on that. It'll continue into next week, and the cost will be approximately $20,000. So I'd just like to update the board. There are a lot of minor repairs that go on a regular basis, but this is something more significant. So I just thought I should make you aware, and I'll make sure we keep you updated if there's anything new that we discover. But we do think we understand the problem, and it'll be resolved before New Year's. Also, just an update, as of December 15th, the positivity rate in this area has dipped a little bit. We were up over 8%, and now, as of yesterday, we're at 7%. So, that is why I think, we need to keep a close eye on this. There are some areas where the, positivity rate is leveling off or decreasing. In general, New York has been inching up. Of course, there's some expectation that after the holidays, we could see another uptick. So we will be paying close attention. Another thing that we've been doing is preparing for the possibility of implementing a surveillance testing program. A lot of people have heard about New York State offering tests for those areas designated as microcluster zones. Putnam County right now, although we're at 7% and we've been steadily, above their metrics for some time, we are not designated as a zone. But we've been doing everything to prepare for testing. And if I'd like to bring our school nurse, I believe Miss Melissa DeFonce is in the audience with us this evening. She's done really a lot of detailed planning, and I'd like her to just share with everyone what a potential surveillance testing program would look like.
Carl, when you bring her in, could you please bring Matt in? He's in the audience as well.
Will do.
Thank you. Just had some Wi-Fi issues.
Okay. Good evening,
Welcome.
Matt. Good evening, Melissa.
Hi, sorry about that. Thanks.
Hello, Melissa.
Good
Melissa, if you would be so kind as to share with the board and our audience some of the updates we have on surveillance testing.
Sure. So testing is one of the mitigation strategies that we use to decrease spread. And at this point, it's very important because the numbers are so high. So testing is brought in to identify people who might be asymptomatic. And what we've learned about this disease is that there are people who are asymptomatic spreading virus before they even have symptoms. So we want to sort of catch those people and have them not be in a position to spread the virus. So what we have always aimed for is, once we were designated as an orange or a red zone or a yellow zone, we would be given testing supplies by New York State Department of Health to begin testing. But because we have not been declared a zone, that has not happened. The Putnam County Department of Health has tried very hard on our behalf to get the testing, and today we learned that New York State has given Putnam County 4,000 tests. So that's wonderful news for us. We don't know how many that will mean for us or when that will happen, but it is the beginning, which we've really been waiting for. So the idea of testing is that we would test approximately 20 to 30% of our population randomly, or our families could choose to test on their own. I would be the one doing the testing, and staff could volunteer, and parents would need to consent to have their kids tested with me, or you can simply bring in a piece of paper to show that they were tested at the local pediatrician or at a testing site. And the idea is that we're catching people again who are asymptomatic before there is spread in our school. So it's a wonderful strategy to use, and we hope to implement it very soon.
Are there any questions for Melissa while she's here?
Is the testing, is it still the 20% over the course of a month, I think, is that right? Or what is the surveillance testing amount to?
That's correct. It's anywhere between 20 and 30% of the population randomly. So it would have to be a variety of people that were tested. It depends on the zone as to whether it would be 20 or 30%.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Melissa, and I hope you'll stick around. And I really appreciate the update on testing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Melissa, thank you. Melissa has worked very hard and has followed this for at least the past 3 months, and we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Carl, did you have anything else you wish to address?
No, that's all at this time.
Thank you. Unless there are questions, I'm going to go ahead and move on to principal's remarks. And if we could promote Allison, please. Welcome.
Hi, how is everybody tonight?
Very good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here tonight, and I just have a very, a brief overview of what's been going on in the building. So I just first want to start out by saying thank you to the community who supported the parents, our very first Parents as Partners evening that we hosted last week for the parents. And the focus for that evening was on our remote instructional plan and the continuity of learning, because we are, now in this landscape of education where we're constantly moving back and forth from in-person to remote learning. And this could potentially be our future for the next, who knows how long. Hopefully it'll be resolved soon with the upcoming vaccine. But the whole concept of that evening was, the emphasis that we need to engage kids in the learning process, and that needs to continue despite, being home. So we had about 20 participants in that evening, and we had some good feedback which is going to improve that process for the future, because we'd like to continue with that presenting to parents based on themes that come our way. So we're thinking that the next parent night will be probably mid-January, I want to say. And as a result of the survey that we did distribute that evening, we had about 75 parents participate in that survey. And that gave us some really good feedback about our remote plan. And we assessed student engagement, screen time, materials, technology ability by our kids, and even the technology ability by our parents, and the struggles that they might be having. Mental health came up in the survey, communication, the schedule time. And so what was revealed as part of the survey was that most people were generally pretty happy with the remote plan. People were feeling really good about the student engagement. The things that really kind of surfaced that we were reflecting on as we were really analyzing the data was three things that surfaced. So we saw that communication could be improved. We also saw that screen time was a big concern for parents, that especially at the primary level. So between like the K and second grade, some parents expressed that there was a lot of screen time. So we definitely want to take a look at that and really kind of get down at the granular level to see what we could potentially do to help alleviate some of the screen time concerns. Also, mental health came up as a big topic, to be a little bit more like proactive with mental health and try to get ahead of it. So some action steps that we took just as a result of the survey is, I met recently with Jessica Van Decker, and I met with Krista DiDiego, who was, our counselor and our school psychologist. And we are making an effort for starting next week and ongoing to have lunch bunches, that are going to be open to all of the kids. They're crafting a letter right now to the community so that this way parents also know when those lunch bunches are going to be had. So we're going to have middle school lunch bunches and then also at the elementary level so that kids can just come and join. There'll be Zoom links that'll be sent out also to parents so that parents can also help to, encourage their child to go. These are not going to be mandated sessions, but we also want parents to realize that these are opportunities for kids to come and socialize with their friends. And it'll be structured, but not too structured, because we really want to try to have kids just chat and chill. That's what we were calling it. The kids just need to chat with each other and chill and not feel so much pressure. So that will be starting actually next week, and that'll be ongoing. So one of the other things that we are doing on Wednesday as part of our professional development, I kind of switched gears. Originally, we were going to have the teacher college come out and do some literacy work with the teachers. We are going to be having them come back in January. And what we did instead is I booked, her name is Dr. Cheryl Ziegler, and she is a nationally recognized school psychologist who is coming to meet with our teachers to really offer some tangible strategies for teachers to use during Zoom sessions with the kids to, practice mindfulness, practice some of the DBT strategies that are occurring in the counseling sessions, but we want those strategies to be accessible for all students. And, as revealed in the survey and just in our conversations with kids, we see that kids are struggling and they really want to be connected. And some kids are kind of retreating now, and they're isolating themselves. And, I'm hearing it from a lot of our families. So this is just one way to start those conversations and to have some shared language, some common, strategies that we can all use across K-8 with kids. So she'll be joining us for about an hour. And then we are going to be booking some time with her for a parent night as well. So you can look her up. Her name is Dr. Cheryl Ziegler. She's an amazing, amazing nationally recognized psychologist. And when you see her credentials, you'll be pretty impressed. She's, hosted several CNN. She's on CNN almost every Sunday. She's on CNN as a correspondent as well. So she's just terrific. So I'm delighted to be able to book her. One of the other things that we're going to be focusing too on Wednesday is really understanding the lifelong practices of good readers and writers. And this is the beginning conversations that will segue into the next gen standards. There's a lot of work to be done in the next gen standards, and we will be, starting obviously with our literacy. We're going to be really scrutinizing the literacy program that we have in place, looking at our reading and writing practices now that exist, and how are we going to align our curriculum and align our practices to the next gen standards. But it first starts with understanding, the lifelong practices that we want our kids to kind of embody before we get into the nitty gritties of the standards. So that's what we have planned for Wednesday. And so we just have a lot of good work ahead of us. And I'm just thrilled, and I'm excited for the snow day as well. So I'm going to get outside and play too. So if you have any questions, I'm here.
Thank you, Allison. That was a wonderful update. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm thrilled that we are looking to make progress on the next gen standards. I know there's so much going on. It's so easy to lose sight sometimes of everything not related to the current pandemic. So thank you for bringing that into focus. I think it's really important.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for the conversations. Because I think I haven't heard of another extension on that. It sounds like we need to have those in place by next fall. Is that correct?
Yeah, and we will. We will.
Great.
Yeah, we will. We have a lot of wonderful work ahead of us with that. And, it's work that I'm very familiar with, that I've done before with BOCES. And, we're ready. Our teachers are thrilled. They want this kind of focus and this kind of work and alignment and curriculum focus. So we're ready. And despite the pandemic, it's not going to stop us from doing what we need to do for kids and their learning. So we're going, we're moving forward.
Great. Does anyone else have questions for Allison? Madeline, please.
I just want to say thank you so much for addressing the mental health and bringing Dr. Zengler, you mentioned?
Yeah, listen, she wrote this book. I have it because it's a fabulous book. It's actually called Mommy Burnout. She's also an author. Yes, and she also is, if you look up the trauma-informed instruction, which is the pandemic is causing trauma. Let's just all face it. We don't really recognize it right now, but it is. It's causing a lot of trauma for all of us. So she's on the board also at the national level with the trauma-informed instruction. She lives in Denver. I'm just privileged and honored that she's also a childhood friend of mine. I've been friends with her since we're 12 years old, and she is a remarkable person. So she's going to write a daddy burnout book too, for all you men. Don't be jealous because it's mommy burnout, but she is working on that. She's also working on another book called Mad World, which it's just about how life is really hard. But this book is also excellent because it talks about how, working moms in particular, trying really hard to kind of keep their families together and raise healthy children in the process. So it's all about raising healthy, stable children who are resilient, who are strong, who are reflective. And, she's going to hopefully be a continued resource for us. And our teachers can really benefit too from some of the exercises that she's going to be doing with us too, so that teachers can be their best selves when they come back. We want to hit the reset button. Come January, when we do, knock on wood, come back, teachers need that reset. And so she's going to help us get through that time so we can be our best selves for the kids.
Great. Do we have any other questions, comments? James.
Thank you for that. And I would echo Madeline's comment, much appreciated. I'm sure board burnout is the next book coming in.
Board burnout, mommy burnout, principal burnout. No, I'm not burning out. I don't want to.
We should all be aware of our own mental health issues as it pertains and, going into this winter. I'm happy to hear about the focus on next gen standards as well. Are we still engaging with words of advice, or where does that stand? Are they helping with facilitating and identifying ways moving forward?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're critical. Melanie and Holly are amazing. First of all, they really are. And they're very well respected. And the teachers take everything they say and they hang on to it. They really do. They're going to be instrumental. There will be some shifts though. There will be, because, me being in the classrooms, I've been doing tons of observations and getting in there, working with kids and teachers. And we have to start going back to some grassroots, and the pendulum swings, and we are going to have an emphasis in a lot of phonics instruction at the K through 2 and K3 level, which is really needed right now at this point. They recognize that. They're so on board. The TC units are critical from the Columbia Teacher College. It's a phenomenal program. It really is incredibly rigorous. But we're going to do better with the programming that we have. It has to be a little bit more balanced. The teachers recognize that, and it has to be aligned to the standards. So the standards are rigorous. There are lots of shifts in the standards from Common Core to the next gen. And, they're subtle, but they're bumping up, and you're going to start to see that in the programming come, the springtime. I'm anticipating that you'll start to really feel those shifts. But teachers are ready, and they're remarkable. We have thank God, knock on wood, we got a great staff. And Melanie and Holly will be definitely involved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, thanks. Okay, if I don't see any other hands, I think we are going to move on. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Carl, are you promoting Scott now?
Yes, I am.
Great, we're now to Interim Director of Technologies remarks. Welcome, Scott.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. So I just want to thank the community. We've put together a really good workflow where if parents need support, they go to the data support at gufs.org, and it streamlines our process for answering any questions with regard to the need for technology or anything that comes up. We field that, and Edutech and Nancy Galetto have been really integral in just making sure that we're getting to all of the requests from the community. I'd like to say that we have 45 new Chromebooks that arrived. They are the touchscreen Chromebooks, and those are primarily slotted to go to the kindergarten class, which is really good. They were formerly using iPads, which have become outdated. They're very old models. And with these new 2-in-1 Chromebooks, it could be more interactive because it's 2-in-1, because you can it's a touch screen and a laptop. We are not going to be rolling them out right now. We want to wait for the students to come back, because there is going to be a learning curve and a comfort level that we want to make sure that our students are familiar with it, and we can kind of troubleshoot any issues that we have arising. And then, just so everyone knows, about year over year, we try to replace about 20% of our fleet, because we have Chromebooks and older technologies that become obsolete, or they're not supported by Google anymore, and we have to retire them. So we didn't anticipate this batch coming in until about mid-January because of some supply chain concerns, but they are here, and the Edutech team is wiping them clean and making sure they're ready to deploy as soon as kids get back. And just so you know, as the board, anytime a student has an issue with a Chromebook, that it's no longer functioning, or there's an issue, they go to data support at Govs, and we are able to facilitate that request. The Edutech team has been so great. Just I have to give them a shout out, because they have really been working overtime to make sure that all the needs get met. And that is my director's report. I know it's much shorter than everyone else's, but I can answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. It was great. Wonderful that the new devices arrived. Does anyone have any questions? Comments? Okay.
Sarah, I'll just add one thing, just to emphasize, every child, every family who requested or needs a Chromebook has a district issued Chromebook. Some families have chosen to use, their own device, which we're allowing, of course. But anyone out there that needs a device has received one. And of course, if there's any issue with the device you have, please just reach out. Scott and the team will make sure, we want to make sure 100% of Garrison students remain connected and have what they need.
Thank you, Carl. And we do have enough devices for everyone. So even if you change your mind and you're using a home computer and want to switch to a Chromebook, which is what the kids use in school, you can do so, correct? Anyone can.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are prepared. We have a full fleet ready to go for every student. Again, some parents have chosen to use their at-home devices, which is totally up to them. But we are prepared for, if everyone said no, we're using district devices, we are ready to go.
Great. That's good to hear. All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
My
Scott.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to keep moving along here. We're moving on to accepting the minutes. I'm going to first read the recommended action. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accept the minutes of the regular meeting of December 2nd, 2020, and the minutes of the special meeting of December 10th, 2020 as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Okay, anyone have any questions or comments on the minutes? Okay, we're going to move to a roll call vote. Jesse, would you call the roll, please?
Jocelyn Apicello,
Aye.
David Gelber.
David,
David, can you unmute, please?
Sorry, aye.
Thank you. James Hoke,
Aye.
Madeline Julian,
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy,
Aye.
Matthew Spicer,
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye.
Thank you.
Jesse. Next, we will move on to the financial report section. First up, we have the treasurer's report. I'm going to read the recommended action first. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accepts the treasurer's report for October 2020 as presented. Carl, may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Would you like to bring Sue up if there's any questions, comments, thoughts, excitement for the treasurer's report? Welcome back, Sue. Thank you. Do you have anything you'd like to say about the treasurer's reports for as presented, October?
No, other than you'll notice that I did not sign them this time. Genevieve actually signed them. So that's been actually a very good, smooth transition. Genevieve coming into the office. Things are going really well. I mean, the only thing that I would point out is that you probably noticed that there's a $5 million transfer in the investment accounts, and that's money going in from the multi-fund. If you look at the disbursements at the bottom of the multi-fund, you'll see like the $5 million coming out of the general fund. And that's because, you know, in September and in October, we get all of our tax money coming in. So I put it into the investment accounts, or actually between myself and, no, I guess it was me back in October. So I did it, but I've been working with Genevieve to do transfers as well. So we ended out the month for investments at $11,211,104.84. That's after basically we got all our money in. There might have been a couple of stragglers going into November. And really, that's all I have to say about it. So that was actually really, unless anybody has any questions.
Do I have any questions on the reports as presented? No, they look good. The last time, Sue. Thank you. All right. Okay, if we don't have any questions, gonna go ahead and move to a roll call vote, please.
Jocelyn Apicello,
Aye.
David Gelber,
Aye.
James Hoke,
Aye.
Madeline Julian,
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy,
Aye.
Matthew Spicer,
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye. Okay, next up we have the claims audit report. I'm going to read the recommended action first. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accepts the claims audit report for November 2020 as presented. May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any questions on the claims audit report? I will, on behalf of the audit committee, say this is the last one that Khadija did, and next we will have our new claims auditors, who I believe has already started. And that going forward, we'll have reports from her. Okay. Questions, comments, thoughts? Okay, we'll move on to a roll call vote, please. Dusty?
Jocelyn Apicello,
Aye.
David Gelber,
Aye.
James Hoke,
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy,
Aye. Madeline?
Madeline, sorry, jumped over you.
Okay.
Madeline.
Aye.
And Matthew Spicer,
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye. It's okay, I mess up the alphabet all the time. Don't worry. All right, now we're moving on to personnel items, the consent agenda. I'm going to read the recommended action. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby approves the personnel consent agenda for items 9B through E. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Carl, is there anything you want to say about these before I open it up for questions?
Sure, I can go through them rather quickly. The first is increasing Elizabeth Heck, who is our theater teacher. She's dual certified in theater arts as well as English, secondary English. So Allison Amig worked with our RTI committee analyzing data, and came to the conclusion that we needed to add some academic intervention services for ELA at the middle school level. We're trying to be really proactive. You know, again, we're in this situation where learning is more challenging. Of course, last year was a significant challenge. So any children that have some gaps in their learning, we're trying to address that. So we added some classes. They fit within Liz's schedule, but it increases her from 57% of a full-time teaching assignment to 63%. So that is or I'm sorry, excuse me, 61%. So that is where you see 0.614. It's a small increase. The next one is just a technical thing. When we appointed Allison Emig as principal, it was an oversight that she's also the supervisor of attendance for both schools. So that is just a correction. The third one is appointing. I'm recommending that you appoint me as the interim business official. Really, that is only if there is some technical responsibility. My training, as you know, is a teacher and assistant principal and special ed, but not business. However, Sue is retiring at the end of the month. And our new business official, Joe Jimick, will not start till February 1st. So we do have a gap. And therefore, our lawyers have recommended, if there's some responsibility that needs to be handled, to temporarily just put me in that place for 4 weeks. The next item related to this is appointing Sue Hutter as a consultant. Sue has been very helpful throughout this transition. And it's a challenging year to do transitions. Sue has helped me transition. She has 2 employees in her office who have transitioned beautifully to their new positions. But she has 13 years of history, as I think James pointed out earlier, and a lot of valuable knowledge. So in this month ahead, if we need to call on Sue, proposing that we approve her at an hourly rate as a consultant. And then later in February, when Joseph Jimick settles in, I'm almost certain he will have some historical questions for Sue Hutter. She'll be very valuable, and we appreciate her willingness to do this. So I recommend approving those hours so Sue can help us transition. And that's it.
Thank you, Carl. Does anyone have any questions regarding the consent agenda?
Well, Carl, in your new position as interim business manager, you'll take care of the golden time for the board members, right? That'll be your responsibility.
Absolutely, David. Not a problem.
And I can vote for you then.
Okay, we're gonna move on to a roll call vote.
Jocelyn Apicello,
Aye.
David Gelber,
Aye.
James Hoke,
Aye.
Madeline Julian,
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy,
Aye.
Matthew Spicer,
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
And thank you, Carl, for once again stepping in and filling the shoes while we wait for our new permanent replacement for Sue to start. But I am pleased that the business office is so well set up currently, and I appreciate all of Sue's work to make that happen prior to her retirement. Okay. So now we move on to, we don't have old business, we're going on to new business. We'll begin with the CSE, CPSE recommendations. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District approve the Committee on Special Education, CSE, and the Committee on Preschool Special Education, CPSE, recommendations and student placements 17419, 17232, 17268, 17350, 17297. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to move this to a roll call vote, please.
Jocelyn Apicello,
Aye.
David Gelber,
Aye.
James Hoke,
Aye.
Madeline Julian,
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy,
Aye.
Matthew Spicer,
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye. Okay, next we have our request for approval of memorandum of agreement with the Garrison Teachers Association. And this is a really exciting one. I'm going to actually read the memorandum of agreement in full, and then I'm going to ask it before we vote. I think everyone will want to say a few words. Sorry, my screen's moving. Memorandum of agreement by and between the Garrison Union Free School District and the Garrison Teachers Association. Whereas the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District employs Melissa DeFonce as a school nurse for the district, and whereas the Garrison Teachers Association represents certain professional personnel, including the school nurse, and whereas as the sole school nurse for the district, Melissa DeFonce was required and accepted many extra responsibilities related to the COVID-19 pandemic, which were necessitated by both remote learning in the spring and in-person instruction since September. And whereas the Board of Education of the district would like to compensate Ms. DeFonce for her extra time and effort as follows. Melissa DeFonce will receive a one-time payment of $5,000. This payment shall be made on or before December 31st, 2020. Such amount shall not be added to Ms. DeFonce's pay base and shall not be recurring in future years. This payment is specific to Ms. DeFonce due to the current situation and this agreement, and this payment shall not set a precedent for any future payments for extra work. While I appreciate the legal language, I think this really does highlight that our nurse Melissa has done so much for our district at a time when school nurses have been asked to go above and beyond. They have become pivotal to districts. We have seen that firsthand, and we wouldn't be open. We wouldn't have been open this fall without Nurse Melissa. She has stepped up and worked incredibly long hours. Carl, you can bring her forward at any point, but I know I'm not alone in wanting to thank her and really show that our district appreciates when our employees go so far above and beyond in a time like this. I know so many of them are, but Nurse Melissa has really outdone herself. Welcome, Melissa, again. Thank you for being with us again. And I know others will want to jump in here and say something. Courtney?
Thanks. It's so hard to not use all of the words we're so sick of. We all keep mentioning unprecedented and going above and beyond, but Melissa, we wouldn't be the school we are without you. None of this fall wouldn't have happened. You are such a strong presence in the building, in the children's lives, in families' lives, I'm sure in the teachers' lives. So thank you for all you do. I think your superpower is to see each child for who they are and what they need, whether it is an ice pack and a firm guidance back to class, or comforting words and a phone call home, and everything in between. So thank you for all of the work you've done. Who's next?
Yeah, I'll invite other board members. Of course, Madeline.
We're so lucky to have you, Nurse Melissa. And I'm sure you know you are our hero in the community and the school. The kids just love you. They're thrilled. And you're there for us as parents. You're always there. And also, we talk about COVID, but the blood drives that you did and that you've started, thank you for all of that work. We're very lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Jocelyn, please.
Yes, thank you, Nurse Melissa. And I will say that you prepared our students and children for the pandemic, because my kids learned how to wash their hands in kindergarten from you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Matt and then David, or
yeah, I'm not going to repeat everything. So I second all that. And I want to say it's been very obvious what a hero you are during COVID, but we knew this just from personal experience. Our sons loved you so much before anybody had ever heard the word COVID, and you were always so incredible with them before the pandemic. I know you'll be incredible after the pandemic, and you've been absolutely extraordinary during the pandemic. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Melissa, I know we'll just pour the hell out of you if I use the superlatives that everyone else was using. All I wanted to add was that I would really be curious to see like some kind of a journal from you of what it's like to be a school nurse during an event like this, during what's really a historic event. I mean, you have a perspective on what's been happening that none of us have. And this is not a work assignment, but boy, it sure would be interesting to read your musings on what this has meant.
I can tell you what I see every day, and that's love. Every day. I'm going to get emotional. I'm sorry. But I see how much the teachers care about the kids. I see how much the parents give to our community, and I'm grateful. I'm sorry. I'm a crier.
No.
Melissa, on behalf of the faculty, the admin team, you are a treasure. We've only worked together since July, but I know I speak for everyone in the building that we just feel so fortunate day in and day out to have you, your leadership, your compassion, your intellect. Really, Garrison is very fortunate to have you, and I think everyone recognizes that. So this is such a nice gesture on the part of our Board of Education. Just know that you are tremendously valued here in this community, and I'm proud to be working with you, Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. It means a lot to me. It gives me energy to move forward. So thank you very much.
Oh, good, because I think we're about to become a testing center, is my understanding.
Right.
In addition
I'm honored.
to everything else. Thank you for staying on top of all this.
Thank you all
for being a support to our amazing teaching staff, as well
as wonderful. I'm a lucky woman. I'm a very lucky woman. So thank you for trusting me with your kids. Thank you for trusting me with our community. Thank you all very much.
Awesome. All right. Anyone else? Any other comments? All right. We're ready to move on. Got thumbs up from James. Okay, great. We are going to move on here. Melissa, thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you.
Relax for, an hour until the next crisis. So thanks.
Thank you very much.
All right. we after that, which was I think really the exciting point. I know I always try and find an exciting point in our meetings. We are now going to go on to the approval of standard Workday and reporting resolution.
Sarah, if I could just
We didn't
interject,
vote. I'm sorry, I forgot the vote. Sorry.
we actually need a motion.
Oh, yep.
And then if you want to read the actual resolution that's on the agenda too.
Sorry, I got too emotional and excited there. Thank you.
I
Becky,
know,
for
me
bringing
too.
it back. All right, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of Carl L. Albano, Superintendent, hereby approves a memorandum of agreement with the Garrison Teachers Association, GTA, dated December 16, 2020, as presented to the board at this meeting, and authorizes the superintendent to extend said agreement. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Seconded.
Thank you. And Dusty will go with the roll call now.
Jocelyn Apicello,
Aye.
David Gelber,
Aye.
James Hoke,
Aye.
Madeline Julian,
Oh.
Matthew Spicer. I'm sorry, Courtney McCarthy.
Aye. It's okay, you're keeping me on my
And
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye.
Thank you.
I always appreciate when I'm not the only one. Mistake button right here. All right, now we get to go on to the approval of standard Workday and reporting resolution, which I know we're all excited for. The recommended action is be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, location code 73704, hereby establishes the following standard work days for appointed officials and will report the following days worked to the New York State and local employees retirement system based on the time keeping system records or the record of activities maintained and submitted by these officials to the district clerk. Dusty, do I need to read this chart?
No.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, Carl, did you want to speak to this? Is this, does anyone have-
This is a technical requirement. I want to thank Dusty and Genevieve. They worked on it together. Genevieve brings a lot of expertise. She was up at the state comptroller's office for 8 years. So I have confidence that it's accurate. And this is so we can report into the pension system for ERS, which is our custodians, our business office, and our clerical staff, as well as our aides.
Excellent, thank you. Do I have any questions? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on with the roll call vote, please, Dusty.
Jocelyn Apicello,
Aye.
David Gelber,
Aye.
James Hoke.
Aye.
Madeline Julian,
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy.
Aye.
Matthew Spicer,
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye. All right, next up is a request for approval of budget transfer. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby approves budget transfer number 3 as presented. Do you want to bring Sue forth again, Carl, just to see if there's any
Sure.
comments? Oh, and I need a motion, didn't I? Dusty, did I miss the motion on that one?
Yeah, we
All right,
need
let's get a motion. May I have a
So
motion?
so moved.
Second.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, Sue, do you have anything for us on the budget transfer?
I guess overall, I mean, I did write a memo about it. The largest line there is the 139, which is a transfer from the serial bond. Kind of thought when we were doing the budget last year that we would be borrowing money for the capital project by now. But after speaking with our financial advisor, he suggested to do just a transfer to capital from our budget rather than pay back within, the same year. It will save us a little bit of money, even though the borrowing rates are very low right now. But the new business official will be probably working on that right away because we will be having to go to borrow in the springtime. And then all the other lines, we have a very tight budget. We've been spending a lot of money with everything. So been moving lines around, and we're just squeezing everything out I can from the budget because of mostly all these COVID related expenses. And it's beyond just the cleaning supplies. I mean, we've got a lot of new technology. We were talking about technology earlier. Actually, those Chromebooks that we bought, I actually used grant funds for that, for our REAP grant funds to pay for that. So I did speak with our auditors earlier this week to confirm that we can transfer money from fund balance to cover the iTutor expense. And he did give me the entry to do that, so we can do that. And that will alleviate some of the budget tightness, I guess, this year. But I would recommend going forward for the rest of this year, you're still going to have to really watch that budget. We've been spending a lot of money. I mean, there's so many unplanned expenses this year. And Carl was talking earlier with the plumbing, concerned about that as well. So that's really all I have to say. And if anybody has any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer.
Do I have any questions? Thank you, Sue. I appreciate the detailed notes. Any questions, anyone? Okay. Thank you again, Sue. It feels very impersonal on Zoom, but for all of that and for keeping on top of all this, it really has been a very unusual year, and we really appreciate your diligence to the budget.
Okay.
All right, guys. Oh, she's gone. Okay. Now we're going to move to a roll call vote.
Jocelyn Apicello.
Aye.
David Gelber.
Aye.
James Hoke.
Aye.
Madeline Julian.
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy.
Aye.
Matthew Spicer.
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, next up, we have the approval of cancellation of transportation services. I'm going to read the recommended action first. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby authorizes the superintendent to suspend transportation of students by Orange County Transportation LLC in the event in-person instruction is shut down or reduced. If needed, the suspension or reduction shall be effective after January 1st, 2021. The district will pay all required fees until the effective date of suspension reduction, even if services are not required. Okay, Carl, let me have a motion, please. Sorry.
Moved.
So moved. Seconded.
Thank you. Carl, did you want to speak to this one briefly before?
Sure. Just to elaborate a bit, in our agreement with Orange County Transportation, if we are going to suspend transportation for any period of time, we are required to give the company 10 days notice. That notice requires board approval, which is my recommendation this evening. It'll be followed up if the board does vote to approve this. It'll be followed up by a letter that I will issue to Orange County, starting that 10-day notice. If we find ourselves in a situation, for example, in January, where we stay in remote, then we would not have to pay for transportation expense for that time period that we are remote, not using transportation. So to give you just an idea of how much we are talking about, it is approximately $65,000 per month for our transportation service. So it is significant. And that is why I'm recommending we do this proactively, just in case we find ourselves in a remote model next month.
Looks like we lost
Wait.
Sarah.
Let me,
She's not in the attendee yet. She must have lost her connection.
I know she's been having internet troubles.
that time it wasn't me.
Oh, I see her now, Carl, in the audience.
Okay. Yes, I'll bring her in. Just give me a second.
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I think I lost a connection there for a minute. Did you all move on without me?
Sarah, I
Yeah,
just
we're all done.
I
Okay.
just provided an explanation of why I'm recommending this now, the 10 days notice.
Great.
And if we find ourselves in a situation where we're remote.
Absolutely. Did anyone have any questions? Have we addressed questions? Okay. Madeline.
Quick question. So if we do end up going remote for part of the month of January, then that $65,000 will be prorated, right? We don't have to, it's not the full month that we have to cancel.
That's correct, Madeline.
And when you say Orange County, you mean Orange County Transportation Service? Just to
Orange
be
County Transit.
I do. I should have been more clear with that, James. You're right. It's Orange County Transportation, not the county. Thank you.
Orange, right, okay.
Okay. I think we're ready to move to a roll call vote then. Thank you, Carl, for the explanation. Dusty?
Jocelyn Apicello,
Aye.
David Gelber.
Aye.
James Hoke,
Aye.
Madeline Julian,
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy.
Aye.
Matthew Spicer,
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye. All right. Next, that brings us up to the public comment section of the evening. If you would like to make a comment, please leave your comment in the chat while I give everyone the opportunity to do so. I will just add that anyone who wishes to comment must do so in accordance with policy 3220 of the Garrison Union Free School District. Any person wishing to speak shall comply with all provisions of this policies. Comments about specific school personnel or individual students as a violation of board policy. Concerns regarding students or personnel should be discussed privately with the superintendent or appropriate administrator. All right, let's see if anybody has, after my disclaimer, left anything in the chat. All right, I'm not seeing anything, so it looks like we can move on. And we will now go to board member comment. I don't remember, I promised to make a note to you guys, and I don't remember where we started last time. I'm sorry. Of all the things I've done recently, that slipped my mind. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I'll start with myself and just say I have no further comment this evening. Matt?
No, I think my biggest comment was for Nurse Melissa earlier, so nothing to add to that. Thanks.
Courtney?
We've gotten 2 inches of snow since the beginning of this meeting.
Wow.
That's my comment. Stay safe, everyone. Be careful in the snow. Wear a mask. Happy holidays.
Madeline?
Wish everyone a happy holiday, stay safe, and enjoy the snow.
James?
I just echo that thought. Stay safe, happy holidays, and take care of each other, take care of yourselves. Thanks.
Okay, David?
I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about that Washington Post piece that I sent to the board members a few days ago. For the public, the superintendents of the 3 largest school districts in the country, New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, that I think all of them are 80% African-American student population, wrote a piece for the Washington Post saying that what we need now is a Marshall Plan for schools, schools that have experienced the kind of catastrophe in this pandemic that is comparable to what would have happened if there was a wildfire, a flood, a hurricane. That this has been a national catastrophe. Now, why should we care about that? Normally, school districts don't speak more broadly about the entire school population, but I think that it's important especially for districts that are as comfortable as we are. I mean, we don't depend and we're not going to need federal financing to get through this. But when you look at what's happening in places like New York and Chicago and Los Angeles, the number of kids who are failing has increased precipitously. Reading scores have dropped tremendously. And this really does call for a national intervention. I mean, as we all know how schools are financed based on local property taxes. And I wish there was some way that we could take some kind of a leadership role in getting more comfortable districts to assert the need for a national response, just as if there were any other kind of catastrophe affecting poor communities. So how we can do that, I don't know. I mean, maybe a resolution that says that we are supportive of the request or demand that the 3 superintendents have made. Maybe there are other ways of doing this, but it's not going to happen tonight. But I think it's something that's really worth considering, because we so rarely think about other districts and what they're going through.
Thank you, David.
I think I just related to David's comment, I wonder if another thing, we could take a look at what other districts might be doing in terms of advocacy to the state, you know, obviously at New York State, but in even looking at BOCES level, kind of the legislative policy level groups that are affiliated with them, because there could be something being put together that we might be able to sign on to, and if there's not something put together, then like you're suggesting, how can we maybe spearhead something, or at least get a group together to really consider it? Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is a great place to start. Sorry for my dog, but we do have, Carl, quiet for a second. Not so quiet. Is there an avenue forward, Carl, that perhaps we could address, or perhaps you could send me to get this kicked off?
Yes. I think, definitely the New York State Council of School Superintendents is having discussions for David and everyone else about this very issue. This pandemic has not impacted everyone the same. Health, from a health perspective, from an educational perspective, from an economic perspective, and I think possibly even New York State School Boards Association. So I'm happy to reach out to the Council for School Superintendents to see if there's a part that we could play, and if one of our board members would like to maybe work through the the School Boards Association. I think it is something important, David, and it is something that really concerns us, because although there is some optimism about the vaccinations, we still have a ways to go here. We are not in the clear by any means, or any stretch of the imagination, I should say. So the gap may get worse, and I think there needs to be intervention. I do agree. I read that article, and I understand what those superintendents need and why they are asking for the government to intervene at this point.
Madeline?
Thank you, David, for bringing it up. And Carla, I will follow up with the School Board Association to see if they're planning to do anything, or if not, we can start the conversation with them.
I think that would be great. And James?
Yeah, I was just wondering, I guess, Madeline, are you the legislative liaison, or?
She's with NISBA. She's our NISBA liaison, and James, you are our Westchester BOCES one. So if you could reach out to them, that'd be great too.
Okay.
See if they have a different stance or language. Don't
we have something called a legislative advocacy liaison person or something? Isn't that like a position? Maybe. Am I wrong about that?
I don't think we have appointed one currently. We can definitely look into that. I think right now we just have, Dusty, if you recall from the notes, but I think right now we've only appointed the 2 liaisons.
I think, yes. I think, okay, sorry.
No, that's all right. Yes, both James and Madeline are listed as our liaisons, but there are legislative advocacy units, if you will, in both of those school board association, both NISBA and Westchester County.
David?
Just two other short things. We could also reach out to Sean Maloney, our congressman, who ought to be interested in taking some kind of action. But I think for that, we might need to have some kind of a collective statement on behalf of the board, which maybe we can think about doing in our next meeting. And the other final point is whether or not the kinds of things that the superintendents in Chicago and Los Angeles and New York are talking about also is true in Newburgh and in Peekskill, and whether there are needs that we can help to address directly in those communities.
We can definitely look at that. I think part of that would, I mean, from a funding standpoint, I don't think we can do that.
I'm not talking about,
but we could advocate and maybe work with them. When you say something to our representative or perhaps our senators, are you looking for a resolution or a letter from the board?
I think we would need a resolution or a letter from the board to them. Yes, I do think so. Otherwise, it's I don't think they're going to take it all that seriously. But I think if we do have some formal letter or resolution, they're more inclined to respond. And I think that that Maloney is likely to see the value in being an advocate for more aggressive policy on helping schools.
Great. Well, I will, once we see what we hear back from the different associations in terms of where other groups are in language, then we can look at drafting something and keep this conversation moving forward.
Okay.
Thank you, David. Jocelyn?
I was actually just going to say, I feel like we should just draft something short and sweet to Congressman Maloney, because it doesn't have to have all of the legalese, but it could just be, acting on it sooner rather than later, and dragging a little on it. But I totally also understand waiting to hear from NISBA and BOCES and the Superintendent's Association.
I think we could probably reach out to them fairly quickly. In my experience, NISBA and some of the others have been very responsive to all the districts and have been really good to work with. So if they have something, it depends on whether they have language or they might not. In that case, we can start drafting our own. And I think it shouldn't take, I know we have a holiday coming up, but still something like this we could probably draft before our next meeting and put it on for consideration perhaps.
Yeah, I think you're going to find, I'm guessing here, is that appealing to the state right now for money for the districts would be hard pressed for the governor or the state to cough up money. But I think appealing to the federal government through Maloney is probably the wiser thing to do, because it is the states and the cities and the districts are going to need bailout and funding from the federal agency, because the states have lost considerable amount of money in this process.
Great.
I'm just saying that, it's more likely that the letter will be going to our federal representatives than our state representatives.
Agreed. Thank you. Do I have further comment from anyone? We've heard from everybody. So if anyone else has any comments on David's proposal, please let me know. You can always reach out by email as well, and I'm happy to continue the discussion at our next meeting, which is in the new year. We'll go back to our agenda if we're done with board comment. Give me just a second. Okay, so I'm going to move forward here. Next up would be executive session. However, we do not have a reason to enter executive session this evening. So that means I'm going to let you all free in just a minute. So next up is adjournment. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby adjourns the regular meeting of December 16th, 2020 before 8:30. Pretty exciting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second,
Awesome. All right, could we have a roll call vote, Dusty?
aye.
Thank
I
you.
could tell you said it.
David Gelber,
Aye.
James Hoke,
aye.
Madeline Julian,
Aye.
Courtney McCarthy.
Aye.
Matthew Spicer,
Aye.
Sarah Tormey.
Aye. All right, everyone. Thank you to Carl. Thank you to all of the attendees here tonight. And thank you to the board. I wish you all very happy holidays. I am available by phone and email if you want to chat about school board stuff over the holidays. If you miss this, let me know. Everyone stay safe in the storm then. Oh, Carl, can you stand for just a second and Courtney?
Sure.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Wonderful holiday.